and welcome back to the Win a Pageant podcast. I'm your coach, Alycia Darby, and today I've got a very special guest. I'm thrilled to meet this woman because we haven't had a chance to talk, so I'm going to be asking her all sorts of questions, what her year has been like. This is Alayah. Now, the whole time I practiced this already. Alayah Benavidez. Alayah is Miss United States 2016, and it is such a pleasure to have her on today. Let me give you, in case you don't know Alayah yet, I'm going to give you a little bit of information, a little background on her. First of all, she was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. I wish I had an accent like the Texans because it's absolutely beautiful. She's a recent graduate, so she's already got her associate's degree in teaching. I love teachers. I myself am one of them. And she's actually pursuing her bachelor's degree now, so she's a smart girl also. She is doing that at the University of Texas in San Antonio, which is home to, like, is it the 3-time NBA champs? Is that right, Alayah? 3-time?
Something like that. Yeah,
oh, man, it's so cool. Yeah. So now what I love is that pageant women, we love supporting unique platforms, things that are near and dear to us. And Alayah's is called Reid the Way. This supports childhood literacy, and she developed this because of her passion, first as a child for reading and stuff, and then as an adult, she learned how important it is, how that education in literature applies to every other area of life. So we're going to get into that a little bit more with Alayah in a moment. But first, Alayah, Miss United States 2016, tell me how you got involved in pageantry to begin with. Where'd you start?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Excited. I actually started in pageantry when I was like a junior in high school, so I got a little bit of a later start than most people seem to assume. Everybody always thinks I did toddlers and tiaras, but it wasn't until I was like 16. And the reason I actually started was because it was a scholarship pageant. It was for my high school and 2 of the other ones in the area. A couple of my friends were doing it, and I knew some girls who had done it in the past, so I was like, what the hey, I'll give it a try. We'll see how this goes. I mean, worst comes to worst, I get a scholarship or I don't win. We'll see what happens. So I went in, I kind of just wanted this congeniality. I was like, it was that awkward time in high school where I had short hair, I had braces. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to do well. I just want to be the nice one.
I just got to interrupt you to say, I love that you're normal. Praise Jesus. You are a normal human being. You had braces too, just like all of us. Okay. I feel better now. Okay.
For like 2 years, and I had like that hair that wouldn't listen to me. I had my awkward stage where I like tried to be blonde, but they looked like the zebra stripes that were really popular back then. Oh my gosh, it was a bad idea looking back, but whatever. I wanted to be blonde at the time.
Oh, that's great.
So I tried out for the pageant, and I ended up somehow taking home the title, which was absolutely amazing. It was Miss Helotes. It was a small town right outside of San Antonio. And so that whole year was just so phenomenal. I got to meet so many people. I actually got to meet the governor of Texas, Rick Perry, at the time. So I got so many different opportunities from just that one small town experience that by the time my year was up, I was like, I have to do this again. I have to keep going. Like, that was awesome. I want to feel that again.
Yeah, you catch the bug.
Yes, I caught the pageant bug, and now I just can't stop. I just keep going.
That's great. Good. So then have you competed in many, many pageants, and then this is kind of the cherry on top?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've competed. So that first pageant was back in 2012, and I've been competing since then. So 2017 is going on 5 years now.
Wow.
And I've held 6 titles, but of course this one, I'm biased, is kind of my favorite.
Of course. So fun. So what is it like being a national title holder as Miss United States? I imagine you travel a lot. Like, what's and you're a student. How does all that come together for you?
My life is kind of crazy. I actually have a planner, which is my lifeline. Everything's color-coded for, like, school and work and pageant and modeling. So everything's color-coded so I can know at a glance what I have on the page.
Yeah.
It's the only way I'm able to stay sane through this year. But being a national title holder has been such a blessing. It's been a whirlwind. I have been traveling nonstop. So ever since I was crowned in August, I've just been go, go, go. I just got off the phone with our marketing director earlier this week. We had like an hour-long conversation about my plans for the rest of this year. So it's been crazy, and lots of people are like, how do you do that? Because I am in school. I do work too when I'm home, when little I am.
Yeah.
So I keep myself super busy, but life's just more fun that way, I feel.
Yeah. That's so great. Yeah. You're right. It's cool to have all these things going on. And I imagine in your position, you've had an opportunity to do some really incredible stuff already. What are some of the things you're looking forward to? You mentioned that you've got a calendar headed for the rest of the year. What are some of the things that are coming up? Can you tell us some things?
Yeah, actually, one of the more recent things that I kind of just put together this week was I got asked to crown Mrs. Philippines Tourism, which
Wow, that's huge. Oh my
cool.
gosh, pageants are huge in that area.
Everybody that I've met from the Philippines has been so wonderful and so receptive. And the person who invited me is somebody I met back when I was still Miss San Antonio, United States.
Oh.
And she was just so nice and so supportive. She actually flew out to Las Vegas after I won Miss Texas to support me at Miss United States. So she was there for my crowning. And she's just been so wonderful and just keeps wanting to help me. So she kind of connected me. She's one of the people that's hosting the pageant, and she really, really wanted me to. Kept telling me it would be such an honor to have me crown her, and I was like, "How can you turn that down?
Yeah.
It's such an incredible opportunity."
That's right. Oh yeah, once in a lifetime. That's incredible. Oh yeah, good for you. So I want to know more about Reid the Way, because that's your own campaign. You created that yourself. So tell me a little bit about how it got started and where it is now.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, I'm an aspiring English teacher, so literature has always been like super duper important for me. It's something that I've always been passionate about. I was that kid in school that, when we had breaks in class, rather than being on my cell phone, I was reading, or I was in the library getting another book, just because it was something that I was passionate about. But as I went through school, I noticed my classmates really weren't. They were like kind of dozing off in English class. We would have open writing, and I was all about it that first 10 minutes of class, and they were like, ew. So I was like, how can I get other people excited about reading like I'm excited about reading? And then once I started looking for, facts and different things that maybe I didn't know that could help me get people excited, I realized like how big illiteracy actually is. 1 in 4 children grow up to be functionally illiterate. That means they can't read above a 4th grade level.
Wow.
Right. So when I heard that, I was like, that is insane. Like, so for somebody like me who reads constantly, that many people grow up being unable to read blew my mind. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start getting out there. Like I said, I've been competing for a long time. So I started in high school, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get out there and start talking to people about this and see if I can spark their interest a little bit. And since then, it's really taken off. I am constantly having schools contact me and be in contact from all over the place, wanting me to come and speak to their students. I just got back from Dallas recently, which San Antonio to Dallas is like a 5.5-hour drive.
Yeah,
it's so
that's a long haul. Yeah.
But they wanted me out there, and they wanted me to talk to their students about this. And I actually had a lot of them that were really receptive to it and asking me about my favorite books and what got me interested in reading, and what they can do, or what's my advice to them if they don't really like it, and how they can start to like it. So it's been so incredible for me to see this thing that was just kind of an idea really build almost on its own.
Yeah. So I'm curious about that, because I was one of those kids in high school. I could not stand reading. I hated reading. I was like, get this thing out of my face. In the 7th grade, we were supposed to, everybody had to choose a book. You had to read it cover to cover. And I'm like, what am I going to choose? I chose this like ridiculous 4th grade level book called A Dog Called Kitty. And I read it cover to cover, and I was like, oh, I never want to read that again. And then when I was probably it wasn't even until college, maybe my senior year of high school, I read a book that was not a novel. It was a personal development book, and I fell in love. Like I think it was just that I found my genre. And now I'm like you. I'm like, I read all the time, but never novels. I still don't like novels. And growing up, and that's typically what we read, in high school and stuff. That's what the classics and whatever you're reading, those types of novels. But then when I discovered this whole other genre, I was like, oh, this is good, So I'm curious, what's your advice to people when they're like, I hate reading? What do they do to overcome that and to become a lover of reading?
Well, believe it or not, I was actually the exact same way. I hated reading in like elementary school, and it wasn't until middle school where I got a summer reading, and they were like, this is your list, pick something, you have to read it. And I was like, you are a horrible teacher. Well, I found a book, and I read it, thinking I was going to dread it. I picked the smallest one, and I ended up loving it. Instead of reading it once, I read it like 3 times.
Wow.
So I fell in love because I found my genre match. much. And I think that's the issue is so many people, not just children, but just adults, people in general, are reading the wrong books for them. They like action movies, but they're trying to read mystery novels. When you need to think, what kind of TV shows, what kind of movies, what things in life interest me, and what kind of literature is there that matches that interest?
I love that.
So that's like my number one thing is everybody's reading the wrong genre, and that's why they're not really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Another really big thing is with novels, at least, the first like 3 to 5 chapters are so boring. Even though I love it, I love reading, and I will read all day.
Yeah.
But the first like 3 to 5 chapters are always, they're setting up the backstory and introducing you to the characters. Yeah. They just drag on.
Oh, good. So I'm not the only one. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So when I was in Dallas, I told the students, I'm like, read to like, go to chapter 5. And then if you still don't like it, you can put the book down. But at least like get to chapter 5 or 7.
That's good.
And give it like an honest try.
Yeah.
And they were okay. And I said, I promise if you give it till then, something that comes up in the book will suck you in.
Yeah, that's good. That's so true. Like, yeah, you wouldn't stop watching a movie 5 minutes in. You'd want to keep going, right. Keep exploring. Like, what is this thing about? Right. So that's great. Good advice. So I also want to know, what is your favorite book of all time?
It changes. Since I'm reading so much, I'm constantly finding new books. Yeah. Right now, the one that's kind of been my favorite for the last couple of years has been The Fault in Our Stars, because I don't think I've cried that hard over a book in a really long time.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the movie, that was one of the few books that the movie was actually a really good remake.
Oh, okay.
But of course, the book is always better.
Yeah.
So it's just really, somehow that author is really able to like capture your emotions and like rip them to shreds, but then piece them all back together.
Oh, yeah. It's
a really, really good book.
You're right. That type of entertainment that really like stirs you is just so engaging and captivating, and you just want more of it. That's the best. Yeah, totally. Okay, so let me ask you about this. So I'm totally loving your platform, but I want to know, how do you merge your platform with the pageant? Is it all on you, or do you have sponsors or supporters? Do you have community partners that you work with that help to blend those two worlds together?
Luckily, everybody at the national office for the United States National Pageants has been super receptive and really, really wants to help your platform grow tremendously throughout your year. So they really just asked me right after I was crowned, and even to this day, what can we do to help you expand that? What is your platform? What do you want? What are your goals and dreams to do this year that is going to help that grow? So they've all been really receptive. The city of San Antonio also, we are trying to grow our just our whole reading program. So the city of San Antonio has been really receptive and wanting to help me grow my personal platform along with theirs. And at first, I would just start to reach out to different bookstores and different schools and organizations that had something that I could use to squeeze in reading. And that's how I kind of started with it. But as far as the pageant goes, I think a lot of students specifically, since my whole platform is really focused about childhood literacy, a lot of students are more receptive when a princess for the elementary schools comes in and is talking to them about books. It's kind of like Princess Belle from Disney. Everybody loves Princess Belle, and she kind of like is subtly throwing in there the book thing every now and again.
That's true. You're right about that. Yeah, good point. And I love what you said. I just want to point out to those that are listening or watching right now about how you described getting started, because everyone has to start there. And you might have a really great idea for a platform, but think, no, and we always, when we have great ideas, sometimes we see the 10-year vision or the 4-year vision or the 2-year vision or whatever. And it's like, we just want to jump there, but you're right. You've got to start somewhere. So if you can find those little places that if there's anything remotely related to your platform, start there. And then those things will grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is really great, Alayah. Yeah, I 100% agree. So, okay, so back to pageant, because this is something that a lot of my clients and the people who are a part of our podcast that are listening and watching regularly are always wondering about various pageant systems, because there are several systems that are so popular and everybody knows about those and they think they've got them all figured out. But I want to learn more about the United States system itself. what are the things that separate it from everyone else and that really put it as something that made you just really feel called to that pageant system?
Once I heard about the United States national pageants, I like immediately knew that I wanted to get involved with it. It was For me, it really was that opportunity to promote your platform. I know a lot of pageants have, their kind of thing that they focused on and their national philanthropy. So I think it's so awesome that while United States National Pageant still has that, and we do support No Kid Hungry as an organization, they give every single girl, all title holders at every level, the opportunity to promote something that they care about and that they really, really want to make a difference in. So that was really my initial reaction, was like, wow, they actually care about your wants and your needs and things that you have goals for, and they want to help you achieve them. So I was really excited about that. I also loved that they had different age divisions. They had that opportunity wasn't just for, ages 21 to 24 or whatever short age gap. It's for, our Little Miss, our Ms. Woman, all of our different age divisions give you the opportunity to do that at any age, any walk of life, which I thought was really inspiring, that you're giving so many women the opportunity to make a difference.
Yeah, I love those key points. Yeah. And what I really heard you say is about the fit. Like you knew what you were looking for. You wanted the platform promotion and you wanted the partnership around that. And so you found that in them. It's great that you're aware of that. I train all my clients. You got to first be aware of what is it you're looking for to know whether or not the system is right for you. So you modeled that. I'm curious if you had someone help you along the way, because I believe that it takes a team to do really anything to become successful in life. So I'm curious what your take is on that. And were you working with someone that has helped you grow along the way?
I absolutely have. Pageants, it really does take a village to prepare for any pageant, let alone a national pageant. I couldn't have done it by myself, and I absolutely am aware of that. My mom, of course, was a huge help to me. She was the one that I would get off work and I would go to the gym and work out for an hour or two and come home. And she's like, okay, throw on your heels. Let's start practicing. Let's do some interview questions, or let's walk around the living room. Show me your poses in your walk. And I'm like, Mom, I just want to go to bed. She's like, just for like 30 minutes, just do it.
Yeah, good.
And that made me a lot more comfortable once I got on stage. Of course, interview to me is, that is, you win it or lose it in the interview. I've judged pageants. I've been on both sides of the judges table, and I know that interview is so vital to your success in a pageant. You can be the prettiest girl, but if you can't talk, sometimes that just loses it.
That's right.
So I have actually only used one interview coach throughout all 5 years of my pageant career. I've always gone to JJ Smith. He's with Winterviews, and he has helped me so much through all of my years in pageantry. He would point out to me like comfort words, or if I would say or say well, or start a sentence with so, he would like snap at me like, nope, stop, start over.
Wow.
So he would nitpick, but in the most like loving, like
helpful way.
Yes.
Yes, totally.
Way that I appreciate.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what do you think was your secret sauce in winning this pageant? What do you think you did or had or prepared for? Like, what was it, the thing that really put you at the top of this pageant?
If I had to guess, because I don't know what the judges thought of me. I know they liked me and they saw something, but what I always think that has been super helpful for me in all my pageants is I'm just me. I don't try to tell them what they want to hear. I tell them what the honest truth is and what I want them to know about me. And I know a lot of girls, because I've helped some girls, friends in my area, and I've helped them prepare for pageants. And even when I'm asking them questions, they turn into a robot. And they go on stage and they get really stiff, and you can just tell they're uncomfortable. I'm like, just loosen up. Just have fun. So that's just what I do. I get on stage when I'm doing my walk. I have fun. If I see something funny or one of my family members makes eye contact, I laugh, I giggle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not afraid to just be me and be comfortable in interview, on stage, even in the most awkward phase of competition in swimsuit. So just be comfortable and be you and find that happy spot. And it's worked for me so far.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't agree more. And to my winners listening, that's what it's all about. It's about being confident and comfortable in your own skin. And sometimes that means putting the work in advance, right? Because you've got to love what you're wearing. You've got to love how your body looks and feels to you. You've got to feel like you know what you're doing. So you've got to have that level of preparation that you know you can walk out on the stage and giggle and it's not going to throw you off, or have your family make some funny face or throw you up a heart or something. And you've got to still be able to interact with the judges in a way that is calming and performing still, even with all those things happening in your mind. So, Alayah, of course you nailed that.
For nationals, I mean, it was in Las Vegas, and my whole family drove up so they could watch me. And my mom was like, "We're not doing your face on a stick, but they got glow sticks, the big fat foam glow sticks."
That's
She's
great.
so you could see us. And I'm like, I saw you guys. I saw where I looked to her.
Oh.
You couldn't miss them. Even if you look at my crowning moment video, if you look at the video, whenever it zooms out, you can see the little stick waving around in the air. So that's my family. If anybody,
that's great. What great support. You're so fortunate.
Amazing. And everybody was super amazing, especially preparing for nationals. I was working full time at the time that I was preparing, and I told my office, I'm like, "Hey, it's the month of pageants. Things are about to get weird." I showed up to work every single day in my Chinese laundry heels, like the super duper ridiculously tall heels. I'm like, I need to be comfortable walking in them. We had a long hallway with a mirror at the end, so when it was dead, I would strut down that hallway.
That's hilarious.
If you do something that awkward in front of your coworkers or your family or your friends, you can do it on stage.
Totally. Now, where were you working that this was allowed?
Oh my goodness. I was working, I was a sales director for Hidden Lake Apartments here in San Antonio. So I worked there, and whenever we didn't have a lot of people coming in to look at our community, I was able to kind of use our little hallway.
Strutting down the hall.
Too, because I'd have to walk upstairs all day in my heels. I'm like, these caps are going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, I love that. So funny. Good. So what are some of the things that you felt like you had to overcome to get to that level of confidence? Because we all have this stuff that's like, I wish this didn't happen to me, or I wish I didn't look like this, or if I could only hide this thing. What are some of the things that you had to really overcome, and how'd you do that?
I think one thing that a lot of girls, not just myself, kind of stick to and have a hard time overcoming, when, especially in pageant world, is comparing yourself to the competition. It is so easy to be preparing for any kind of competition, whether it's local, state, or national, and look at the girls you're competing against. And as I was preparing for nationals and I was watching all of these state title holders be crowned, I'm just like, wow, she's beautiful. Wow, she's gorgeous. She's so well-spoken. Look at that dress. And it was really easy for me to look at these amazing women and know that they were amazing enough to win their state titles, that, you can kind of start to be a little down on yourself and look at yourself just more under the microscope than you would usually. So that has always been something that's been a little bit tricky overcoming in preparation for a pageant. But what I had to keep reminding myself of was, they probably are looking at me and thinking the same type of thing. They are seeing my highlights just like I'm seeing theirs, because I'm comparing my, just woke up, glasses, messy hair look to their full glam from their photo shoot last week. Mm-hmm. And that's so easy, I think, for so many of us to do. And it was hard for me to overcome. But even backstage, I would see girls and I'm like, wow, she looks so good. And I would look at myself in the mirror and I would just say, Alayah, you look good too. You worked just as hard as everybody else. So that was something that was really important to me, was kind of that self-pep talk. So rather than talking yourself down, talk yourself up. Tell yourself, you worked hard for this. You look great. Think about where you started and where you are now. Don't think about everybody else. They all have different stories. They all have something else going on than what you do. Yeah. So once I was able to get out of my head, the whole experience was just a lot more relaxing, a lot easier for me to enjoy.
So true. Yeah. Great, really excellent advice. And you're right. You walk into orientation and think like, oh, I love her outfit. I love her shoes. I love her hair. And if you just look in the mirror, you're like, I love my outfit, my shoes, and my hair. And all of a sudden it's like, it flips that switch of like,
you're ready to go.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you do. You got to anchor back to what you've done, what you've done to prepare. So that's awesome. Hey, any little last tips for girls, or do you have any specific products that you just love? Every girl needs to have this backstage, or a makeup thing, or any little tip that you could share with our audience?
I kind of have two that go together.
Okay.
one of like my little trade secrets that I'll give you guys whenever I'm, somewhere for a pageant weekend is I always bring something from home that relaxes me, whether it's like my favorite blanket or a bath bomb or, my favorite CD or whatever it is. It's something that I can keep in the hotel room or backstage that can kind of like mellow me out. One of my more recent beauty favorites that I've taken with me everywhere is I have a Clarisonic, which keeps my face. I mean, pageant weekend, you're throwing a lot of makeup on, no matter who says what. It's a lot of makeup. It takes like 5 makeup wipes to remove everything after I get off stage. So I always bring my Clarisonic, and I actually have like face masks that you sleep in. So at night, it like relaxes and rejuvenates your face. And I wake up the next day feeling like refreshed and ready to take on the world. So
That's great.
Inspiration for a pageant, always bring something that's going to help mellow you out before you go on stage.
Really awesome. I'm going to get the links of those products that you mentioned because I want to share those in this podcast on the show notes. So for everyone listening, we're going to have those up and rolling for you. She's going to give me the little tips on that. We'll find out where to get them. So first of all, Alayah, thank you so much for your presence here today. I would love to know, where can our listeners learn more about you? Where can they find you online?
My number one social media outlet is definitely Instagram. I basically link everything to my Instagram. So if you follow me on there, you should be good to go. My official Miss United States Instagram is at Real Miss United States. My personal one is on there. So when I sadly give up my crown this summer, you can still keep up with my crazy life even after I give up my crown. That's my number one social media outlet. Of course, there's always more information on my Facebook page, Miss United States. And I do have my own website for AlayahNicole.com for, again, after my crazy shenanigans are up.
Awesome. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and link all of those in the show notes so that, ladies, you can follow Alayah. And when is the next pageant? When are you going to be giving up your title?
I'm giving up my title in July. So the United States pageant is going to be July 1st through 8th in Orlando, Florida.
Ooh.
So I'm so excited. I love Florida, and it's super close to Disney World. So we'll be right in that area. It's the first week of July. So I'm super sad to be giving up my crown, but as I'm watching all the state pageants get announced, I'm getting really, really excited for the girls that I'm going to get to meet this year.
It'll be really wonderful. Good. Well, you are going to make an incredible English teacher, and I know you're going to make some incredible students and really true lovers of learning and of reading. So that is exciting. Very great. And your reign as Miss United States has been just an honor to watch you go through all of that. So I really appreciate you being on here today and sharing all of your insider tips. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope we talk soon.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. Hey, doll, how about that last interview? Isn't she fabulous? If you loved this video as much as I clearly did, could you just give it a thumbs up? I'm sure that would just make her day. So thank you for doing that. And are you a subscriber yet? If not, would you click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel? That would make my day, and it would make sure that you get access to all of the interviews just like this one. You know, the reason that I do these interviews is because I want to help you know that to actually win a pageant, it really does take work, but it's in the cards for you. You've got to put in the work, but God wants you to be a huge success. So if you are ready to take that success to the next level, hop on over to winapageant.com. I have tons of resources for you there, downloads and programs and training packages and all types of things for you. So winapageant.com, I'll see you there.